Hi everybody. Today's yoga class is going to focus on short routines that you can implement in different parts of your life to make you feel good. And to begin with, we will start with a breath work routine that will help calm the system down and just kind of stabilize you and balance you. It's called the three-phase breath work. Ideally, you sit with your toes together so that your big toe is touching. If you need to put a pillow under your bottom or under your shins so that you're sitting comfortably, that's fine. It's also fine to do this in a chair. We will start with the hands on the hips, the palms of the hands facing down, and the fingers pointing toward each other, so the elbows are out, but make sure you're not hiked up. You want the shoulders down and the back straight. And we will start with ujjayi breathing, which means you have a slight constriction of the throat, so you make a sound. I'll make us breathe. Let's all of us breathe in. And now same way, breathe out. So that slight tightening of the throat so you actually make a sound, doesn't have to be loud, eventually just you should hear it, is called ujjayi breathing. It actually calms the vagus nerve. So let's start with our back straight. For this first part, please keep your eyes open and I will tell you to close them in a minute. So we'll start with 4 breaths in. Here we go. Breathe in, 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 hold, 2, 3, 4, out for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold for 2 and 2. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold, hold, and in, hold, breathe out, hold, hold. Inhale and close your eyes. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold, hold. Last one. Hold. Breathe out. Hold, hold. Now keep your eyes closed. Put your palms in the lap and have the palms facing up. Just notice the change in energy and the quietness. And open your eyes. The next one is positioning your thumbs in the armpits. Fingers are pointing towards each other. The palms are facing down. The elbows are lifted, but the shoulders are down. Your back is straight. Your chin is parallel to the floor. By the way, each one of these hand positions forces the breath into different parts of your lungs. You don't have to think about it, worry about it. It happens automatically. It's waking up the nervous system and stimulating the chi to flow in your body in a more healthy way. Here we go. Close your eyes if you're comfortable. Breathing in. Hold. Breathe out. hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold, hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold, hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold, hold, relax, bring your hands to your lap with the palms up, and just enjoy the stillness. And open your eyes, and the third phase, your hands are like this, but they're behind your back. You want to feel where your spine is below the neck. And if you can, you slide them down between your shoulder blades so the little fingers are touching. Now, ideally the elbows are up here, but if it means that your shoulders are all hiked up, you want the shoulders down and then the elbows as high up as you can. And make sure your chin is parallel to the floor so it forces the upper body to reorganize to have this shape. Keep those little fingers touching. Close the eyes. Here we go. Breathing in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Last one. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Then relax your hands in your lap with the palms up. And enjoy that shift in energy when you end. Enjoy the peace. Enjoy the silence. And slowly open your eyes. As a note, every time you access those moments of empty silence is an incredibly restorative and recharging for your whole nervous system. Our lives tend to be addicted to thinking and mental work, and the brain actually literally gets very tired, and the whole life force of the body gets tired. So these practices that put you into a momentary stillness is incredibly healthy and vital for well-being. And the next one is a more energizing breath technique called Bastrika breath. It will also bring you into silence, but it energizes the system in a different way. So hands are in loose fists, shoulders are wide, elbows are nicely relaxed by your sides. First movement, you spread and reach the arms up over your head, and then you drop them down. Now you inhale going up, and you exhale strongly through your nose. Inhale, exhale, in, keep going, close your eyes, a little faster, and relax. Put your hands in your lap with the palms up. Keep your eyes closed and notice the change. Keep the eyes closed. Bring your hands back to the side. Shoulders relaxed, elbows relaxed, loose fists. Here we go. Inhale up, exhale out. Hands on your lap, palms up. Notice a tingle, the shift, maybe spirals of energy. Notice the inner calm. And again, third set, soft wrist, loose hands, very relaxed elbows, and here we go. Hands in your lap, palms up. And feel. Now keep your eyes closed and bring both hands to your heart, one on top of the other. Just feel your heart beating. And as you keep your hands here, think and feel the ability to love. How precious your life is. How precious this moment is. How magical it is to be alive. And how fortunate each and every one of us is to have this life, to be able to give and to receive. And treat this moment as though you're being blessed. And then think of someone you love and send the blessing on to them from your heart. May the cycle keep going on, sharing it on. And then bring your hands to your lap and open your eyes. So these two practices are some of my favorite practices. I often do them first thing in the morning. The first breath is very good to do at night before you go to sleep if you're too wired up. Both are. The second one just clears out the dust and residue and charges you if you need energy. This next routine is a nice way to pop your energy open and energize you. It's a very simple progression on sun salutations. Please come to a standing position. And in this standing position, Bring your feet together. Now, if you're a person who has knock knees, you can separate the feet a little bit, but you want a sense of stability. In fact, let's start with the feet a bit apart. So you have this sense of straightness. And just rock yourself forward and backwards a few times just to see where your center of gravity is. And then stop with your weight just in front of your heels. And see if you can feel and even out the weight into your right and left side. We tend to dominate one side, so we want to get as close to the center as possible. And then bring your right and left hands together. So think of this, you're creating a closed circuit in your nervous system, and you're marrying the masculine and the feminine, the right and left side of the brain, the creative and the logical. We're just creating union, so this circuit flows in both areas. The thumbs are hooked into the sternum, and the sternum is lifted. So there's a little bit of energy together and hiking up to get that nice lift in the whole body. Feel as though a string is pulling your head up to the ceiling. Take the arms out to the side. As the arms go out, you want your fingers together. You want to start pulling the arms apart. Tighten the elbows. We usually don't lock them. Lock your elbows and then roll the shoulders back and roll the palm of the hand as far back as you can and pull just a little bit more. So you stretch out, pull out, expand and open as much as you can. And then bring the hands back to the central point of peace. Open out, expand, reach, energize, stretch, tighten the arm muscle, tighten the elbows, stretch the fingers. Everything's long and expanded. And together. And again, open them out, stretch, roll the shoulders back, tighten the elbows, expand, reach out, feel that you're opening and pulling yourself apart, lifting the ribs, and back together. Now bring the feet together. Lift all 5 toes off the ground and notice that there's been a shift in weight backwards when you do that. From your little toe to your heel, press into the ground and then put the toes back, but keep your weight back. Pull your quads up so the legs are strong and your knees are straight, and slightly tighten your buttock muscles. And here we go again. Open these arms out, press into the ground and stretch, and back together. Inhale, big breath in, open yourself up to the world, lift the ribs, exhale and soften. And again, inhale, stretch and lift, and back together. Now we're going to add on to this. So from here, open your arms out and start reaching up, reaching up, reaching up, reaching up so you can get the palms to touch. Look back and look at your thumbs, lift up, and bring the hands back together. Now have a look at me, because very often when people look up, they kind of hear. If you can, please drop your head back and lock your elbows so your elbows are in front of your chin, and you may be surprised how much more stretch you get. And then come back together. So we're going to do this together. Feet together, pull the thighs up, take the arms out, big open expansive position. Keep the arms nice and strong. Let the shoulders go up as well. Everything's being pulled up. You just get your head out of the way. Stretch to the ceiling. Bring the hands back to the center. Open the arms out. Take your head back. Stretch as high up as you can. And bring the hands back to the center. One more time. Big inhale. Exhale, and now inhale again. Stretch is like you're shooting your hands up into the center of the sky. And then exhale and pull your string back into your heart. Now we'll add another one. You're going to take your arms out. Head back and arms up. Lifting. Take the arms out to the side. Stay facing forward, but I'm going to turn sideways from here. You hinge from the hips. Notice how my hips are going back. You're staying long as you can. You're looking out, and then you lengthen down towards the floor. Slide your hands up and look out. Come as high up as you need to arc your spine. and then lengthen down, and then roll up again. Turn your hands out, lift the arms up, stretch and reach to the ceiling, and back to prayer. Open the arms out again, head back, arms up, stretch, and big arc of the arms out, hips go back, head out as far as you can, bring the head and arms down, slide the hands up, look out and stretch your whole back, open your chest, again come back down, roll yourself up, turn the arms out, sweep the field around you all the way up to the heavens, and then back to your heart center. So from here, metaphorically, this could be what you're doing. You're opening yourself out to the world. You're expanding, you're reaching, you're becoming limitless, and you're welcoming it all. Then you're stretching to the magic of the heavens. You're trying to pull up and reach up to the sky. And now you're starting to sweep everything out of the way, and you're looking out at the horizon. What's ahead? What's in front of me? What's going to happen? And then you bow down towards Mother Earth. You let go and you let her hold you. Then you start sliding up, looking out at the horizon again. What is ahead? What is in front of me? And you bow down one more time in gratitude for gravity and for life and the support that the earth gives you. You roll up again. You bring yourself up to your full height. You sweep and lift all the energy up. Everything's growing. Everything is expanding. Everything's reaching. And you bring your hands back to your heart center. And then you relax. And take a moment to let yourself settle. So that little routine is amazing to get yourself happening very, very fast. From here, we're bringing a chair into the picture. Please get a chair. And we will work to loosen up in a very simple way some hips. So this can be very useful if you have an office job, you find yourself in front of a computer for eons of time, and you want to be sitting down. With your feet in front of you. Now I am just a little bit, I'm not back in my chair, I'm just straight. So you want as much of a straight line and as much as you can, because this is the position we all get into. Can you stick your bottom out? Let's get those tail feathers. Imagine you have your peacock and everything is opening up behind you, widening up. You have this natural lift. From here, stay steady. Can you lift one foot up? And I hope you didn't wiggle your bottom all over the place and adjust. So get your hands on the side of the chair and lift up. And then without changing anything, press this knee down to start opening up the hip. Very simple, but can be quite profound. And keep the pressure into the hands and bend a little bit forward. See if you can find a way to bend forward from your hips, not from your lower back. So I'd rather you go a little bit forward than that you do this. Nice and lifted. And then come back down. From here, we'll change sides. Nice and lifted. Lift your other leg up. Use your hands to get as tall as you can. And then come forward. Nice flexed foot. I'm more interested in keeping the back long down here than in getting forward. You can use the muscles of the leg to press the leg out as much as you're able to do. And back. So it's fabulous to do if you're sitting at an office in front of the computer. One more time, first side. This time you press down. Just to get a little bit more juice. And then if you want to, you lean yourself forward. So you get much more juicy stretch, but we've warmed everything up. And come back. Other side. So first you are going to stretch down and press as low as you can. And then you lean forward. And then come down. Let's have the feet a little bit apart. Let's do a few cat-cows. So you arch your back. Notice imagine a tail going up. Lift your tail up. Curl your tail under. Lift your tail up. Curl your tail under. Lift your tail up. Curl your tail under. If you want to add to this, you can open the knees. You can close. Open. Have to come further forward to do this. Close. Open. Close. Open. Close. Wiggle your feet about the width of your own chair. You'll have to adjust and work your way down to the floor. Some of you flop down if you're very nice and loose, but there's a large percentage of people that don't do any forward bending. So this is a wonderful way to just relax and allow your back and your hips to start to loosen up. Take a breath in and look out, just like we did standing. Relax back down and roll yourself up and lift your chest. Bring your feet together, hands together, hands on the outside of the knee. Slide down till you get to your elbow. Open this hand up like you're opening a book. Take a moment to really expand. So we're stretching. You don't want to go lower than the elbow. Close. Other side. Down to the elbow. Open. Close and back, and now a first side again. If you want to go to the floor, you can. I'm going to stay here. Just make sure, did you see how it's easy to be here? Really get that forward, get that spine long. It's more interesting to get the spine long, and so that you're really hinging from the hips instead of from some other place. So you can go twisting a bit more. Come up, other side, open. Close and open. Now from here, stretch the hands and lift them up. So I've got the palms and I've got the arms right up. Check that you're sitting on both hips and lift. So you have a nice traction of the rib cage away from the hips. Keep those fluffy tail feathers nicely flared out like a fancy peacock. Rotate to one side. Come back. Rotate to the other side. If you're lifted enough, you may not be able to go very far because you want the waist pulled apart. You want those ribs lifted up off the hips. Most people say, oh, I'm short-waisted. No, they're tight in there. And we want to start undoing that tightness. Lift up more. You may find you've now got more height. Don't keep the shoulders going up. For right now, keep those shoulders up. I couldn't care less. First side, back, lift a little more, other side. Back, and bring the arms down. Roll. Nice, relaxed rolling of the shoulders. And then, this is called a golfer's grip. Notice I have my thumb out, the fingers curved. The purpose of this hand shape is to keep you from breaking in the wrists. You're going to put your hands right by the temples, sitting tall, elbows as wide as you can. Really notice that there's a point. They can't go further. You have to squeeze your shoulder blade. Not that. Just elbows. Then bring the elbows together. Elbows apart. Elbows together. I don't care if the elbows don't get together, but what I do want is a constant lift of the back and no movement in the back, because this re-educates your shoulder blade to start to work correctly in relation to your back muscles. Just you want that even movement of right and left side. Most of us get very, very imbalanced and twisted and all torqued around, and then things start to go wrong. But we really haven't gone wrong, we've gone off center. So keep going. And then bring the hands down a minute and just relax. See how much easier it is to stand up straight. And maybe, just maybe, those shoulders are hanging more nicely to the side. I'm going to adjust my chair because now we're getting into a twisting motion. So from here, sitting sideways on your chair if you can. If you have handles, so you can't sit to the side, stay facing the front. You'll just figure something out. So here you are, your feet are in front of your knees, your back is tall, remember those fluffy tail feathers, and then take your hands, lift, and start rotating around. So you're getting into a twist on the chair, lift up a little more, rotate a little further, lift up a little more, and rotate a little further. So twisting done well with an upward energy will start to decongest stuck vertebrae. Twisting done badly will just start grinding things. So we want constantly traction. Gravity's always pulling us down. And then as we get more sophisticated with our practice, we need to know that we're really working into our tight spots, not just the easy places. So here you go. Big lift, nice fluffy tail feathers, and start rotating evenly, both sides. Don't rush to go deep. Breath in and lift. Breath out, rotate. Breath in, lift. Breath out, rotate. One more time, breath in, lift, and rotate. Come back to the center. So those are a few chair routines you can do, yoga in the chair or whatever, just to fluff up and energize yourself. Let's now get into some other routines. I'm moving the chair to the side. And just mat work now. So very often the problem I find both in my own practice as I get older, when we do down dog and sun salutations, is a stepping forward and the stepping back. The hips can't accommodate it very easily, so it's a very awkward transition. And rather than have that as part of the practice, I want to just break things up so we benefit from each stage and position without stressing and messing our system up in the middle. So please come down onto your hands and knees. I'm going to work a little bit into what happens with a good down dog. Whoa, ha, 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 ha. Yeah. And some nice music to inspire us. So here we are. So on your hands and knees, hands are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. The hand position, I would like the index fingers parallel and a slight claw, like a cat that's kneading, that activates the arm muscles. Shoulders are right over. And now from here, very slight tilt of the pelvis, so not under but tilt, especially for people whose name starts with an A. Lift your knees and tilt back. So right there, get those tail feathers up. Keep your hands where they are and start to lengthen. Notice how far back I'm going And very slowly start to push your heels down. I don't want the legs straight. I want the tail feathers up and as much of a long straight spine as you can get. If that's as far as you can go, fine. We're going to adjust some things, but this is what you want. You want that length of the hamstring and that upward tilt of the pelvis and moving back, heels pressing down. Just hold that position. Bend the knees back. From here, a few cat-cows, round. Take that tail and curl it way under you. Lift the tail up and lift the head up and push away from the floor. Curl under. Curl up. Curl under. Curl up. One more time, curl under, curl up. Come to the center, now move your hands further forward. So now we're no longer in a box, we're a little bit more wide. Get your back as long as you can and lift the tail feathers up again. Really make sure you have that slight curve in the pelvis. Lift your knees. Send those tail feathers back. See if you can keep that tilt of the pelvis and then press the heels down. What we're looking for is as the legs get straight, you don't lose the straight spine. We're not looking for straight legs, we're looking for a straight spine. So wherever the legs happen to be able to go to, that's your real, pure, effective down dog. So it opens the right part of your body. Keep those fingers clawing and press with the arms to get even more traction into the shoulders. Slowly lift the legs a little bit higher if you can. Get those heels down. Do not lose what you're doing in your hips. Nice and long. Now, start to come forward and push away from the floor and come to a plank. Pull the stomach up and press away from the floor so you start to build trunk strength. Come back up again. Send the sit bones back. Bend the knees if you need to. And bend the knees back. Again, cat-cow, looking up. And down. And up. And down. One more time like this, going up, going down, coming back to center. We're going back to our down dog. You lift those tail feathers a little bit. Lift your stomach. We're not looking at an arch back. We're looking at the pelvis. Please imagine, I'm going to put my hands here, that you have a hand here and on the other side, and you're pushing your thighs apart. You will actually feel your glute muscles spreading. We want that nice mobility in the pelvis. Then lift, send the hips back, keep those thighs nice and wide, and start lengthening them. Heels go down. Most of us have very, very tight calves and Achilles because we don't use them. You want to open up that area and open the sit bone areas up. Maybe you can go to straight. The least of my concerns for you today. Forward to a plank. Make sure your head is not hanging down. Now bend the knees. So here we are. Now from here, think of a plank from your knees to your shoulders. So you want that nice long back and bend and lower down to the floor. Then you're going to push back onto all four. So just push back, toes under, and stretch into your child's pose. Take a breath in here, and then breathe out. See if you can make your joints more relaxed. Breathe into your sacrum. breathe out and relax. One more time, take a breath into the sacrum. Breathe out, come back on your hands and knees. Move the hands a little bit forward. Knee, feet hip width apart, curl the toes under. Lift your tail feathers and up you go into your down dog again. Your correct down dog. Press away from the hands. The area, the padding of the thumb area should have a nice sense of pressure, and you're clawing the floor with your fingers and you're tractioning as much as you're able to. Come forward onto your plank. Now we're going to do another variation. Bend the knees and stick your bottom out. See if you can bring the knees down and then your chest and your chin down. So in this funny A pose position, really stretch your chin out and then pop yourself forward. Drop the feet, hands by your shoulders. Lift just a little bit off the floor, roll the shoulders back. Press both hip bones into the floor. This is where you can feel if you have a roll in your pelvis. Both hip bones to the floor, lift your hands up. Then you come higher. This is called serpent. Come down. Lift again into serpent. We're strengthening the back. And down. One more time, lifting into serpent. And down. Push back onto your all fours, toes together, and come back into your child's pose. Stretch everything out. Take a breath in and relax a little bit more deeply. Lift your head up, look at your hands. Walk your hands to the right side of your mat. And then as you breathe out, let everything drop. Lift your head up. Walk your hands to the left part of the mat. And breathe out. Come back to the middle. And bring yourself up to an upright position. In this position, bring your knees and your feet together. Clasp your hands. I'm doing this behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Stretch the hands down. If you can, pull them away from you. What you're trying to do is get the shoulders to go as far back as you can so you get a chest stretch. Just hold this position, opening up just below the collarbones, an area that gets very tight. Squeeze as much as you can. You can be so tight you're not going to get very far, but practice will start to open this area up more. Many of us have our shoulders way forward so the front chest is very tight. Relax down. We're doing rabbit pose next. You may not have done it before. It's tricky, head is down. So, drop your top of your head to the mat. Grab your heels and then try to get your forehead as close to your knees as you can. And then lift your bottom as high as you can. So you're rolling forward onto the top of your head. Stretching your spine out. Keep pulling your stomach in and opening up your back body. Keep rolling up and forward. In an ideal pose, the forehead is touching the knees. Sit back down. And come back up to an upright position. We will do this again, and just a word of advice. All of these poses, I like to give what the ideal pose is. Don't rush there. Sometimes it will take you 3 years to get to a point. So if you try and push your body before what it's ready to do, you're just blowing yourself out. It's not the purpose of yoga. This is healing. So please, my head is here. The forehead is here, but that's my spectrum today. I used to be able to do it 10 years ago up here. I can't now because my body's stiffer. Honor your body. Work with what you got. It will bring you the blessings of the practice if you work from honesty and integrity. Don't compete with yourself. Don't compete with anybody else. Waste of time, waste of your life. And here we go again. Head on the floor, bottom up. Maybe now you can get a little closer. Maybe you can't. It doesn't matter. Lift your bottom up. Scoop your belly. Open up that back spine. Stretch between the shoulder blades. Feel that traction. Nice and wide. Sit back down again. And come back up. Again, clasp your hands. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Now we're going the reverse. We're opening the front chest. Expand the chest a little bit. Notice I'm not arching my back. I'm just pulling the shoulders back. So it's much more detailed stretch. Bring the hands down. Now we'll have fun. We're going to have the hands clasped like that. Put the head on the floor like rabbit pose. If you can't get your hands to go like this easily, get a strap so your hands are wider apart and you'll get the benefit. So here we go. Hold the strap, hold your hands, get your head on the floor, push forward and let the arms drop over your head. Notice this is a lovely, lovely stretch into the shoulders. Just enjoy it. And then bring the arms back. Come up to an upright position. Let your blood recalibrate. We will do that again. Clasp. Bring your head to the mat. And roll your arms over your head. Go away from your back. And some of you may be here. That's fine. If you're really stuck down close to your body, you need something wider. A towel, so you'll get that hinge. Everybody has motion in the shoulders. You just have to find your own sweet spot. Let yourself open. And then bring your hands back. And roll yourself back up to an upright position. Very, very nice. Now, in this position, either sitting like this, or sitting on your cross-legged. This can be done in a chair. A lovely way to open up the shoulder and the very high part of the ribs. You're going to take your hand and drop it behind your neck. Your other hand is going to grab and rotate. I'm pulling the flesh of my tricep backwards. So I'm opening the elbow in a very specific way and stretching it up. Lift up the ribs, take a breath in and push your head back into your hand and then bend sideways. So if you do this right, maybe it's easier for you if you grab the high elbow. You will start to feel a stretch here. We want that. Some of you may go very far over. If you're bending really down deep in the waist, lift your chest up more. Get the back part of your spine, the rib cage area. It's often rounded. Think of making it into a straight, flat line, which means you take the shoulder blades and the ribs and you in the back and you push them forward so the front rib cage lifts. So you want that line, you want that, think of your back as a flat plane as you bend pure sideways. Come back. Whew. That dropped this shoulder way down. It proves my theory that the more you lift the shoulder up, the lower it will release because you're decongesting tension. So notice, pulling the flesh, lifting up. I'm sliding this hand a little bit higher. It works better for me today here. Nice lift. Stay front and bend sideways. Open up those side ribs. Opening them. Ah, so good. And then come back. Roll the shoulders back. Yep, both shoulders are even again. Excellent. Now lying on the floor. So the first one we're going to do is opening up your side body. Side body gets incredibly tight for all of us. So you want to lie on your backs, get your spine feeling long, and then lengthen your legs out. And we'll keep the arms here for right now. Take your feet, I'm moving my right foot to my right, and then bringing my left foot over. Now, if the left foot doesn't get to the right, back down on the right. So now this side is getting stretched. Take that arm over your head and grab with the other hand and kind of pull yourself over. So you should start to feel a pretty intense stretch on that side of the ribs. This is my left side. Now, little secret, because we're going to hold this, don't make it too intense for yourself. If you feel like, oh my God, back down a little bit. You want a gentle stretch that you can tolerate, because the body will start to have a ricochet effect. It's going to go, oh no, too much, too fast, I'm backing out of here. So you need to find that sweet spot where you're stretching, but you can also relax a little bit. You can tap into letting go, softening your muscles, and even breathing into where you feel tight. And you may just find out that now that you've done that, I'm just going to lengthen this hip out because it gets a little tight. You can move a little bit further over and a little bit further over, and it's not so unbearable. We want to develop elasticity in our body, not collapse. So sometimes when you stretch really, really intensively, it's kind of like, oh, like slingshot effect. Everything pulls back really tight as a response. We don't want that. We just want this nice progression. Take a deep breath in into all the areas that feel tight. Send the breath in there and then breathe out. And then bring your feet back. Now, because my back got really archy, I'm going to lengthen things out. I'm still got my middle back off the floor, which is a natural curve, but it's not compressed, it's long. Now, left foot to the side. Oops, I'm going to move to the side of the mat. Left foot to the side, and right foot. And right arm, and a little bit over. So find that sweet spot. Also check, are both hips, both buttocks still on the floor, both shoulders on the floor. Usually we tend to start spiraling off the midline. You don't want that. So let yourself stretch. Let the body get used to being tractioned. If you feel ready, you can go a little bit further. A little bit further. If it's too much, don't. You're not rushing anywhere. You're still in the same room, in the same apartment, in the same body. But you're really giving time for your own unfolding. But I like to think of this like spring cleaning the body. And taking time to honor who we are and how we are today, so bring healing energy to ourselves. Lovely. Bring your body back, and just for a minute to even things out, bend your knees in sometimes and rock side to side. Now, interesting new one. It's called crocodile stretch. This is to stimulate all the muscles in the back, and it's a rotational one. So you will start with your arms going right to the side, and the fingers are down. And you want to have a nice sense of pressure. Also think of your shoulders being rolled back and down on the floor. From here, you will take your legs straight and together. Flex your feet a lot. See if you how far you can flex your feet, even if your knees are bending, and then try to straighten the legs. From here, I'm taking my right foot and I'm sliding my Achilles heel in between my big toe and second toe. Both knees are straight and the quads are strong. Now the hands stay down and you try and push the feet towards that floor. Your buttocks have to be tight. The hips do it. Do not let the shoulders come off the floor. This is activating all the muscles in your back body and making them start to turn on in a good way. Are the knees still straight? Are your feet still stretched? Flex? Are your buttocks still firm? Work from the hips, work from the feet, but not at the expense of the knees. Are your shoulders down? Do not let the shoulders come up. This is activating and strengthening trunk muscles. Hold it. Come back. Undo the legs. I'm going to stretch because my back gets a bit more archy when I do that. This is natural. Stretch your legs out again. Check that your hands are still going to the side. Check that your shoulders are down. Flex those feet maximally. Press the knees down. Now left foot, the Achilles is in between the big toe and the second toe. Knees are straight. Shoulders press down. Hips roll. Don't let the shoulders come up. You should turn your head in the opposite direction. This is my easier spiral side. It's strengthening the muscles that run up and down the spine. And very good if you happen to have a twisted body that has imbalances. Right side and left side tend to kind of do other things. This helps to even things out. But it's only one of many. This in itself doesn't solve the unevenness. Come back. Undo the feet. Again, bend the knees in. Rock side to side. Put your feet on the floor and check that the hip flexors are soft. So pubic bone and hip bone should be even. No grippiness here. Take your hands, place them under your head. Elbows are out, shoulders are down. Now this is a very specific type of an ab work to strengthen the core because we don't want to use hip flexors. Can you lift an inch or two off the floor? Your elbows are wide, your head looks at the ceiling, and you're not doing that. That's not what we want. We want the trunk muscle to come back down. Lift and 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 down. If you're doing this right, it's going to kick in the abs and not your back and not your hip flexors. So we're really isolating. Very often people are quite weak in the abs. They got other areas that are doing the work. 2 more times. Lift and lift. Just a few more. These are all little kind of interspersed movements. You will take one leg and stretch it way down and bring your other knee up. Notice I'm holding under the knee. The foot on the floor is long and flat. You want a 90-degree angle, so your shin is parallel to the ceiling and your shoulders are down, your neck is long. Start circling the ankle without the knee moving. Keep circling. Nothing else should be moving in your body. And as you do the movement, please do a nice, big, intense movement. Search out those parts in your ankle that are lazy, that don't work, that are dysfunctional, that haven't been challenged. That's part of what's making us shrivel up and become limited and frail. We want to wake everything up and make it come back to life. Now reverse the circles. Keep the foot that's on the floor flexed and long. It's not like you're slack anywhere. You're keeping the excellent alignment. You may start to be fatiguing a lot, which is a good thing. We want to wake up these muscles. Now, pause, flex. When you flex, pull all 5 toes up and push your heel away. Point. Flex. Point. Flex. Spread those toes. Point. Flex. Our foot is really what the claws of a bird are, and then relax it like that. You know when a bird comes to landing, they spread the claws in order to grab hold of a branch or something, actually reach everything out. We're genetically evolved from that. Let's claim our heritage. Holding behind the knees, shin bone parallel to the floor, foot that's on the floor is nice and long, and flex, and start circling your foot. This is my crackly foot. I've had lots of injuries on this foot with scar tissue and all sorts of dried up stuff. We all have a history in our bodies, and we want to welcome the fact that we've been alive and we've had wonderful experiences. Reverse your circles. Big, juicy circles. If you're fatiguing, you need this. And then flex. Really push the heel away. All 5 toes pull up. Point. Start to think of the foot, the heel pushes away, the toes pull toward you. The heel pulls toward you, the toes pull away. So there's always this seesaw effect in our bodies. And sometimes we are aware of one side of the C or the saw, but we don't actually consciously notice both. All right. And coming close up here. Nice, beautiful twist that I love, lying on one side. Rotations again, so important, also important to loosen up the shoulders. So when you're here, you want the back long, knees and feet making 90-degree angle, and the body being a 90-degree angle. Then lift. If you cannot have, you need a pillow, you can put a pillow and then you stretch the hand towards the floor. I'm tight today. The hand should get to the floor. You go where you can. If your hand's high up, get a pillow or something to rest. Because we're going to hold this and let the body start to untangle all these spirals. So people that are more loose, the shoulder blade gets to the floor. And that's genetically what our blueprint is designed to have, the natural normal range of movement. Very few of us in the modern world have that range because we're blessed with sitting and with computers and being civilized. So we get tight. And bring the hand up and back. Tight for me today. Other side. You also find that these things change day to day because, bless us, we don't stay the same. Lift and open. So this side gets to the floor easily. This is my more rotated side. But even so, lots of tightness. Bring the hands back. Roll back on your back and just again rock side to side. And bring yourselves up to a seated position, and let's just come to closing. So come to a cross-legged position and bring your hands on your knees and just close your eyes for a minute and check in. Check into who you are now. Check into what you're feeling. And check into the miracle of being alive. And to finish, let's bring our hands into prayer pose at the heart center and give thanks for the wisdom and teachings of yoga. Give thanks for the practice that we have just done. And give thanks and honor the inner teacher inside of each of us. It's always there to guide us and direct us when we look inwards and we listen to the truth in our own hearts. And let's ask to welcome everything about life as an opportunity, to be open to learn, to be open to be charmed by life, delighted with opportunity, and in no way judgmental of ourselves, so that we can stay present, stay open, and see that we're truly living in grace. Take a deep breath in, bring your hands up to your forehead or third eye, down to your lips for a kiss. Bring your hands to your heart and bow your head to your heart. May the mind always be the servant of the heart. And then lift your head and open your eyes and namaste.